Our next talented young person is Joshua Bowman, who illustrated the story Honey for Olives when he was in the 5th grade at Parkway, I'm not sure what school. At Wren Hollow, pardon me, school in the Parkway School District in Baldwin, Missouri. And he is going to discuss his art with Gwen Ashley, but I just want to give you a little synopsis of the story if I could. In the 1950s, a Jewish boy with his family immigrated from Russia to Israel because of the discrimination they experienced in Russia. The boy, Abraham, grew up to be a beekeeper. One day, he set his hives up in a forest right outside an Arab town. Curious, many of the Arab townspeople crowded around him. Abraham was afraid as more and more people surrounded him because of their curiosity, but he didn't want to move his bees from the forest. He ended up giving a honeycomb to a boy in the crowd, which began a friendship with the boy's father, who owned the land that he was on. They became trading partners in years to come, the boy selling the man's olives and oil in his market, and the man, Muhammad, selling Abraham's honey in his. The two families are friends to this day. Gwen and Joshua.
Joshua, your illustration of Honey for Olives is successful in depicting the coming together of two different cultures. It piques the viewer's interest right away. When I saw your illustration, I couldn't wait to read the story. I'm curious, why did you choose this story to illustrate?
I read all the stories and this one stood out because two men are from very different backgrounds and they made a choice to get along and treat each other with respect by doing business together, and I also happen to love honey.
Did you conduct any research to help you complete this illustration?
Yes, I used the internet and learned a lot about the clothing of the two different cultures. For example, Arab clothing is light in color and weight. This keeps them cool in the hot climate of the Middle East. Mohammed's headscarf keeps the sun and sand off his head. Jewish people's clothes are many times black and like a suit. I searched through many Jewish and Arabic photos looking for just the right facial expressions, including a little boy eating from a honeycomb.
Joshua's attention to detail adds certainly to the overall success of this illustration. How did you explain to the audience, how did you create the foreground, the midground, and background for your composition?
I wanted the little boy to be looking up at the two men shaking hands, so they need to be the largest in the foreground, since the story is about the relationship they formed. Naturally, the trees would be in the background because they are the biggest in real life. Yet, proportionally, the smallest in the illusion. The beehive is the central of the story, so it needed to be visible through the trees. Therefore, I wanted it to be noticed next in the midground, after the man and the young boy. Shading the Jewish men's suits showed the culture, clothing differences, and helped the foreground stand out. To balance the black suit with the rest of the illustration, I also added lighter shading onto the midground and the trees in the background.
Good composition in art, as in writing, always stimulates interest. So your composition was very successful. You mentioned your use of cross-hatching, and you'll notice that cross-hatching implies texture in the picture and is very successful. It was a very successful technique. Joshua, you should be very proud of your work. What did you especially like about your illustration or the process of completing the illustration?
I really enjoy seeing the people in the story come to life. I can imagine myself there tasting the honey and hearing the buzz of the bees near the hive.
This is a moving depiction of the storyline for Honey for Olives. Thanks for sharing.